most meaningful encounter with Christ. So I think it's been the process of praying through my vocation. I felt called to marriage from like a pretty young age. I mean, probably like middle school, high schooler, but definitely for sure, like, kind of discerned that call kind of clearly as a high school student, and have like dated on and off. And for many years, like struggled, in the single life. And there's just been a few like really clear encounters of Christ in my moments of loneliness. So I remember one time I think I was in 8th grade or freshman year of high school, and I had heard, about this just like thing to do in your prayer where you just say like, okay, God, like lead me to what you want me to read. And then you just open the Bible and you come across like, I don't know, whatever. And so I was really lonely that day. I think we had just found out that we were moving back to Texas, and I was really upset about the possibility of leaving friends in Colorado. And so I was just very lonely. I was crying. And I said, God, like, okay, just like speak to me through your word. And I opened up the Bible, and the verse that like my eyes fell on first was Psalm 34:18, which is, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And that was sort of, one of the more significant encounters with Christ, but also like one of the first of just realizing like, okay, God is here in this brokenness and in this loneliness, like, even though I don't know how, like, I know that he is. And that's been something that's like, that he's revealed, in a lot of moments of loneliness and brokenness, like throughout, high school, college, grad school. Another moment sort of like that, particularly when I was praying, like for my future spouse, was Tobit 6:18. And there's this part, just in the story of Sarah and Tobias, the angel is speaking to Tobias, and he says, "Do not be afraid, for she has been set apart for you since before the world was made," speaking about Sarah, his future wife. It's been interesting to sort of know and like recognize the moments where God is present to me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And throughout the time from when I was like first discerning marriage and like was thinking about that as potentially my vocation, obviously there's only so much discernment you can do without the actual person. But I always told God, like, I want it to be a story that's like so detailed of how we met, that it could like only come from you, like that it could only be providence that like brought the two of us together. And so, last fall I was at a Notre Dame game watch, randomly stumbled across the Notre Dame Club of Houston where I went to grad school, and was talking with just a guy at our table. And it turns out he was in seminary for a few years with the guys that I went to grad school with who are now priests. And so he name dropped a few of them. And then our sort of small talk went from like awkward small talk to like, oh, like, you know them, like, tell me more about yourself. We met, we hit it off. We became like best friends really fast. We got engaged about almost 2 months ago. And we'll get married next summer. And it was totally a moment of being just shocked and totally surprised by God, of like, okay, like I've understood now, like what you were leading me to and like how you're leading me. And just the complete like providential nature of our meeting. Like I knew it was of God. And we discerned marriage like pretty fast, which doesn't always happen. But like part of that, the way in which we met and sort of the way in which like we both have been formed and sort of speak the same language and have the same values. It just was a very beautiful encounter to me with the way that Christ like can't be outdone in like creativity and generosity. And just his love for us is so deep that like it's like seen in all the little details.